Hi, my name's Joanne Dreesens. I'm connected to the Kawa people and the Kuku-Yalanji people through my great-grandmother and my great-grandfather. I grew up in Brisbane. I now currently work in the Gold Coast as an arts worker at Placemakers. I've continued as a freelance photographer for over 20 years, and I really enjoy working with artists all over the country. And predominantly in Southeast Queensland at the moment. So, yeah. My relationship with Arts Law began in my previous role at the Gold Coast City Council in the Arts and Culture Unit. I was in a newly developed position as predominantly Indigenous Project Officer. So our role was kind of like the engine room for the city and for artists to understand how to, activate artists and protect themselves with different resources. And then we realised the importance of things like intellectual property rights and copyright and contracts and agreements were really important for artists to understand. So we started to connect and understand through the staff at the Arts Law office and ended up getting lots of face-to-face workshops delivery. And it has continued since I left there last year. I think the benefit of engaging with an entity like Arts Law is the industry is quite a beast. It's a really big thing to get your head around. As an artist, a lot of people don't understand how many resources are out there to help them. And particularly in the Arts Law space, there's a lot of legal jargon and things you have to navigate, which is clearly something that I'm not at all versed in, and particularly just in legal matters outright. And I think it's important to engage people who are specialised in that area. The importance of seeking that help is, I know that a lot of artists want to, especially nowadays, promote their work online, just with the COVID situation and the form of business is a bit different as well. But also going back to that previous example of a lot of artists, particularly Indigenous artists, wanting to be engaged to collaborate with a non-Indigenous company or another artist, it's really important for them to understand their own boundaries, because quite often, and it may be something obvious to state, but when you're working with cultural content, it's not just an individual's. For me, it's more like a moral rights back to your community or your family. And I think it's really good for artists to be reminded of that, to not be afraid to put those limitations around how much they share and can protect themselves outright. I think it's really important for, any creative artist community or even elders. We had some elders in the last workshop up here, and for me, even as an arts worker, I'm always encouraging artists to re-attend a workshop or listen to a seminar or watch a video, because every time I've attended, I sort of understand something a bit more deeper. And because it's such a big area to get your head around, I think it's important for people to be as self-reliant as possible or independent, because in the end, it's up to you what kind of protection measures you'd like to see happen with your own work. I think when in doubt, always ask. And because that's such a broad spectrum that it covers, it's all stories and language or cultural knowledge and stuff. So I think if you're not sure, just have that chat with a professional. I can only speak to from my family, like a lot of our elders and are our living libraries as well. So we want to make sure everything is as protected as much as possible, because, families are big, communities are spread all over the country now. And the knowledge then is just as important to maintain and just keep it all valid and legit.